All right, Stacks Unabridged episode. We are doing something we've actually never done on the show before, but I think this might become a new thing if we don't fuck this up today. I am joined by friend of the pod, one of my favorite humans, David Dennis Jr., author of The Movement Made Us. David, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I've been practically begged to come on. I was like, we have to do this. So I'm glad you
did.
You humored me.
You did. So here's what we're doing. David and I are going to talk about the Watchmen HBO series. So not the movie that I've been told is horrible, because I cannot possibly sit through a bad movie right now. And not the book, because we already talked about that with Joel Christian Gill. David is here to do the on-screen adaptation from 2019 starring Regina King, made by Damon Lindelof, or however you say that name. But first, before we do that, since the last time we talked to David, he was working on a secret project and he couldn't talk about it. But now his secret project is in the world. So David, tell the people about your secret project.
The secret, not so secret project is Rap Stories, which came out June 1st, which is basically one of the reasons I want to talk about it here is because it's basically me ripping off the Stacks but talking to rappers. So that's what I do.
Hey.
So it's basically I talk to 12 rappers about a project of theirs, like something that they, wasn't necessarily the most obvious choice for all of them, just something old. They can just have like an honest assessment of their own work, which is really cool. Sort of did come out of the book talks I was doing for The Movement Made Us, and just, learning that like, hey, everything that comes out is not perfect. Like you as the person who puts it out, you don't feel like it's perfect when it comes out. So I wanted to talk to them basically about the anxieties I had about writing a book, but about their albums. So we talked to, we talked to Bun B, we talked to Big Crit, we talked to MC Light, we talked to Currency, we talked to Freddie Gibbs, we talked to Goody Mob, we talked to Ja Rule. So
cool.
It was really cool. It debuted number 1 on Apple.
Flex. Unlike the Stacks that did not debut number 1 anywhere. You ripped it off better.
It's number 1 in all of our hearts. And
thank you.
No, because like seriously though, I was really like trying to figure out how this would work, and I was like, let's just do it like a book talk. And I was like, let's just make it, conversational and book talky, and let me research some of my favorite pods. And one of the places to research the Stacks. So the Stacks is very instrumental in making this work.
Did you give me a producer credit, yes or no?
We're working on it. I'm giving you a homie credit.
I haven't got any producer credits, but it's fine. I know these things can take a while.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Were there things that you learned from the show that surprised you? Because I'm sure, you did like your favorite, like some of your favorite albums or whatever. So when you got to talk to them, were there things that people said where you were like, really?
Yeah. So one of my favorite questions, which again came out of the book process, was like, what's something that drives you crazy? Like, what is something that you still listen back to and it just irks you? And almost to a person, everybody had something that they really, really hate about this project that they love. And it's mostly, and I felt them because it was mostly something that nobody else notices. Ja Rule said that between me and you, he says forever instead of forever accidentally. And how many times have you sung this song and never noticed it?
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, so
I love it.
It's all kind of cool stuff like that.
I'm going to steal that question. I'm stealing from you now.
Yeah, go for it.
Question. Okay, so everybody go listen to Rap Stories wherever you got your podcasts. But also leave it a rating and a review. I tell you this all the time. Very helpful. So don't just listen, rate and review. You can review now, or you can rate now on Spotify. So if you're not listening through Apple Podcasts, do it on Spotify. We want David's show to remain in the top.
Yeah.
Something we want, like all good parents, I want my offspring, like David's podcast, to surpass me in every way.
Yes, we are all your sons. We are all your sons.
Yes. Oh my God. Do you know that play? All My Sons?
No. I was thinking of Nicki Minaj being like, all these bitches.
You don't know that reference?
All these bitches is my sons. I was thinking Nicki Minaj, but same thing. Pretty much the same thing.
Arthur Miller has a very famous play called All My Sons, and at the end of the play, there's a scene, and it's always played by this, like, it's an older dad. His kids are like in their 20s, whatever. And at the end of the play, there's a scene, and then he always goes, or the line is, "They were all my sons," but every actor always does it like, "They were all my sons." And it's like the most dramatic moment in American theater. And I was like, David knows all my sons.
No, I know.
Anyways.
I know Nicki Minaj. That's it. So
Same Zeph. Okay. We're going to talk about Watchmen. I have my book here, but we're going to talk about the show. So I think that is important for people to know about you, your relationship to the book and to the show sort of generally.
Okay, so I am an avid comic book person. I mean, yes. People cannot see this. My wall is full of comic books, mostly Black first appearances on my wall.
What does that mean?
The first appearances of Black characters are all on the wall.
I see.
So, but I mean, I've been reading like since I was 4 years old. I bought X-Men when I was 4, and that was like one of the greatest comics ever. And I've been reading pretty much nonstop. And so, Watchmen came out, 86, like when I was born. And so I went back and read it at some point, I think in high school, and it blew me away. It really was one of my favorite, like, just books ever at the time. I mean, I've grown to have a sort of complicated feeling about Watchmen as a comic book, but the way that it sort of toggles with history and just like reshapes the way we talked about comic books and superheroes and puts them in this ultra realism thing. And Alan Moore is just absolute genius. Like, he's written some of my favorite books, which top 10 I must recommend to everybody, is like one of those like Law and Order cop procedural comics, but takes place in a city where everybody's a superhero, and it's like really cool.
Wait, what's it called? Top 10?
Top 10, yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's top 10
no.
for you.
The name of the book is Top 10, yes.
Top 10. And that's one of your top favorite books.
That's one of my favorites, yeah.
Better than Watchmen?
They're different. So Top 10 is more like it was more like an ongoing sort of series, as Watchmen was like sort of self-contained. But I think it's just as good, I think.
Okay. So the show's coming out, take us back to 2019. You know the show is coming. You're a fan. What are you thinking? You see the cast. You see Regina King. You see Gene Smart, maybe? I don't know who you care about. You see Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
Right.
What a babe. What are your thoughts going in?
Yeah, we'll talk about Yahya in a little bit. But I had no thought. I was just like, interesting. I didn't want to know anything about it. I knew it was a sequel of sorts. I knew it took place afterwards. And I was really kind of expecting like another sort of superhero thing. I didn't think it would be what it was. Like, I didn't know it would be like Black as shit. I didn't know, like, I knew Regina King was in it, but I didn't know what they were going to talk about, what they were going to do. I thought it was going to be deep into the lore of the book, which it was, kind of is, but you can watch it without having read the book. Obviously you did. And so I went into it sort of just like, yeah, cool, Watchmen. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
And then you watch it, and what do you think? Initial thoughts?
Okay, so I wish more than anything that I could go back and rewatch the first episode of The Watchmen for the first time. Like, when I think about that feeling that I had, I don't think that there is anything pop culture wise that touches reimagining the Superman origin story in Tulsa during the Tulsa Massacre. Like that. I mean, who thinks of doing that? And like, how is that possible? I watched it, like the first 10 minutes of Watchmen, the first episode of Watchmen is like the greatest thing to ever happen in TV history. Right. And you end it with Future Plan. And it's like this incredible scene. And I was hooked. Like I actually had to rewatch the first episode because I was just so hooked on those first 10 minutes. I went through that series. I watched every episode 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
Leading into the next episode, I was dissecting. I was predicting. I was right on most of the predictions. I felt like a super genius because I was like, knew what was happening on most of the things. And I don't think I've ever been as obsessed or into a show as I was with Watchmen.
Wow. Okay. Let me tell you about me.
Okay.
I watched the show in 2019. I think it came out that's not true. The show came out in December 2019, and I was like, I don't do superheroes. A friend of mine from college was in the writer's room. And so I was like, I will watch this show. As you may know, my children were born in December 2019. So then after that, there was a pandemic. So I didn't get to Watchmen until August or so. I went back and looked at my text messages. August or so of 2020.
Okay.
So I had the experience that many Americans had of racial reckoning summer.
Right.
I, unlike apparently every white person ever, was familiar with the Tulsa race massacre. Right. Like I was familiar with that. So I wasn't like, well, what's this history? But
that was so crazy. That was so crazy how few people knew about it. Anyway.
Nobody knew about it. I remember a friend of mine was living in Tulsa and she was like, did you, I saw this episode and I was like, yeah, I fucking knew. But so my frame of watching the show was like, we were wearing masks. People were talking about race. So it didn't feel like special to me in a lot of those ways that I know that people who watched it when it came out were like, holy shit, what's going on? And then they were like, Damon Lindelof predicted America. So I didn't have any of that. I also didn't have a fucking clue what was going on in the show until basically the last episode because I didn't know who Lori was.
Right.
She didn't mean anything to me. I was just like, oh, there's Jean Smart. I had no fucking clue who Adrian Veidt was. I knew nothing. So then so I was like the whole time, like, I don't get it. This is like kind of cool, but I don't get it. But by the end I was like, okay, I get it a little bit. But then I read the book. And then within about 30 hours of watching the book, reading the book, I watched the entire show. And I have to tell you, I fucking loved it. I was like, this is awesome. Like the moment that Jeremy Irons came on the screen, I was like, is that Adrian Veidt?
Yeah.
I was like, I think that's Adrian Veidt. And then I was like, oh, because I had like seen that it was supposed to be like not a sequel. But I had also read after I finished the book that Damon Lindelof said, it's like watching Godfather 2 before you watch Godfather 1. You can do it, but you don't understand who a lot of people are. It like doesn't quite make sense. And so watching it after reading the book, like the Rorschach masks, I just thought that was like, oh, these guys are wearing masks. But then I was like, oh my God, they know Rorschach. They love him. Like he's their favorite. And like the Dr. Manhattan stuff, like just everything made so much sense. Hooded Justice. I had no idea that was a reference to anything. So the show is a good show, fine, whatever. It's a fine television show if you don't know anything. But if you know the book, even a one-time read through, it's just like, whoa. That was my feeling. I cried. I think I texted you this. I cried at the end when Dr. Manhattan is going, she's like, where are you right now? And he's like, I'm in every moment with you. Yeah. Don't do it. All right. That is the end of this bonus teaser. If you are having a good time, I'm really sorry. Just know if you want to hear the rest of this conversation, you can do that by going to patreon.com/thestacks and joining the Stacks Pack. You'll get a bonus episode just like this one every single month, plus access to our Discord, our virtual book club, a lot more. And you'll get to know that by joining the Stacks Pack, you get to make the Stacks possible every week. So if you love the show, if you want more of it, head to patreon.com/thestacks, finish listening to this episode, enjoy all the bonus content, and we will see you in the Stacks.